Dr. Henrik.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Rian,
Alfredo.
can you give a co-host so that Henrik can share screen?
Okay,
Great.
already done.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alfredo, and hi everyone. My name is Henrik Gadde, and I'm a customer success manager at Sectra Medical Education. And like Dr. Alfredo said, we will have a training and introduction to Sectra Education Portal and Dissector Atlas and Human Anatomy Atlas. First, I would like to share a few words about Education Portal, and it will just mention that in Education Portal, you have a variety of different ways of accessing medical imaging content used for anatomy, radiology, radiography, and histopathology teaching. This is a cloud-based solution, so you have the tools for visualization and the content library accessible on the Sectra table, but the students are also available to access it from home using their own devices. And this is something we can go more into deep at a later stage. So again, just to make sure that it's all clear that the content in Education Portal is stored in a cloud, in a secure cloud solution. So you're able to use the most advanced visualization tools and the content library from basically any device. Great. So the first session now will be about Dissector Atlas and our Human Anatomy Atlas tool. We'll start with Dissector Atlas, and there is a way for both you as a teacher and students to access it, and that is to log into Education Portal via your web browser on the Sectra table or on your Mac computer or PC. Like this. And when you are logged in to Education Portal, you will find the content presented to you on this web page. You can filter from different categories. You can view all content, and you can go to pre-made lessons where we have organized the content for you. And this is something we will also have a look at a little bit later. But now we will go to Dissector Atlas. You can find it by clicking on Applications and to the right. The first time you use it, you need to download it on your PC or Mac or the Sectra table. But the next time you open it, you just click on the application and the software will open like this. See if I can hide the sharing screen feature here. Okay, I can use it there instead. Good. We have a different buttons that we can use, and we have some important basic tools to be aware of. First, I would just like to mention that this is real anatomy. So it's based on a donated body that has been frozen and then sliced and photographed and put together in this software. To the left, we have options, file, edit, view options. And what could be important here is to know that you can save dissection images to your computer if you want to use it in maybe a PowerPoint presentation, for instance. So there is the possibility to save both the dissection image or the cross-sectional images to your computer and then use it in a presentation at your university. You are also able to find the undo button here. If you've done something that you would like to regret, you can click undo here. Otherwise, we have the functionality buttons here in the middle of the screen. The rotating button to move the model, right mouse button to move it on the screen. We can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. And the knife and the pen is for further interactions that we will come back to a little bit later. There is also a pin functionality to add labels to the structures and a button for you to put the model in the position you would like. So if you click here, you can decide to show the posterior view or back to the anterior or use any of the other options. The next button will allow us to add basically any structure from an index list. You can also choose structures from regions or systems. The cross-sections button will allow you to add cross-sectional cut planes to the 3D image. For instance, you can add a coronal cut plane that will be added to the model to show the students the reference anatomy or surrounding the organ or structures that you want to show. But we will come back to that as well. The next button here is a share button. So this content is available to share with students and to organize in what we call lessons or in any organizing software that allows URL links. So if you click here, you will have a URL link presented to you that you can copy and paste in the web browser or store in a document or in an LMS or in our tool lessons and easily access to students. So they will come directly to this position. And that is something we will also have a look at a little bit later. The last buttons here, the buttons to the right, is the viewing buttons, what kind of windows you're looking at. So the left button is presenting the cross sections here. And if we close the 3D window, we will only look at cross sections. We can double tap on any window to see it in full screen. So focusing on the cross sections, you use only the left window. If you click on the middle window, you will also have the 3D model appearing in the window. And the right window is a lesson tool where we have gathered different pre-made lessons built on the links here to give you some inspiration on how you can use the software and the different tools here. Okay, let's start interacting with the model. You can rotate like this. And what we're looking at right now is the full model where we show all the muscles and all the structures. We can, from the anatomy button, we can decide to add and remove things. And if we want to remove everything, we can click on the eye. Now everything is removed. And we can add just the things we would like to add. For example, the skeletal system. But maybe the students, maybe we don't want to present the whole skeletal system. Instead, we want to focus on the upper limbs. So I will click on the plus sign to expand the skeletal system and click on appendicular skeleton. And here we have bones of the upper limb. If I click on the plus here, I can see that we have bones of the pectoral girdle and upper limb, left side and right side. So we will add bones of the free upper limb, left and right. And here I will show you the difference between the eye and the sun here. Because when we add structures with the eye, we will add it in its natural color as it is presented here in the cross sections. So for the left side, I will click on the eye and we will have the skeleton added. And for the right side, I will click on the sun and instead the structures will be highlighted like this. So now we have added the skeletal part of the upper limbs. From here, we can zoom into structures and we can add labels to a structure. So if I click on the pin button here, I then click on a structure and it will be added the label. So this is a nice way to add the namings on the different anatomical structures. If we now want to give the students an understanding of the surrounding structures, we can click on the cross sections and add the coronal cut plane like this. We could also use the skin opacity tool to increase the skin opacity like this. That gives us an even more realistic feeling of how this body looks like. And this cut plane can be moved. And since this is a coronal cut plane, we can use the sagittal cut plane here and move it back and forward to move the cut plane. So in this way, you can zoom in to the and understand the structures surrounding the different bones here. You can choose the knife or the pen to add these structures to the 3D model. If I click on the pen and hover over a structure, I will be able to see on the top of the screen, I will be able to see the name of this muscle. And going back to the view button here, I can increase the label size. So it's bigger, so it's easier for everyone to see. So I will change it to 26. And now by hovering over a structure, you will easily see the name of it. And if I use the pen here and click on a muscle, it will be added to the model. And if I click on the muscle again, you can see there is a minus sign to the arrow. The highlighting color will disappear. If I click on the knife and hover over a structure, you can see that you can still see the name. And if I click on the structure, the muscle will be added in its natural color. And if I click on it again, it will be removed like this. So this is one way of adding a muscle or a structure to the model by using the cut plane, because everything you see here, you can be added to the model just by clicking on it. If we would like to add a kidney, we can do that. And then we can move the cross section backwards to see how the kidneys are positioned like this. So this is one way of adding structures to the model. But I will click on the dissection knife here again to remove the kidneys. I will also remove the cut plane. Click visible to remove it, and I will remove the skin opacity like that. So now we're back on the models again. And now let's add structures by using the anatomy button. So I click here, and let's say I want to add, first I want to look at the veins of the arm. So I click on the anatomy, and I can collapse the skeletal system. and instead I will now focus on regions. So I will go here, regions, and look at upper limb. I click on the plus sign to expand. And here we can find veins of the upper limb. And again, I expand by clicking on the plus sign. And here we have veins on the left side and on the right side. So on the left side, I will click on the eye to just have it in its natural color. And on the right side, I will click to have it highlighted. And as you can see here, different structures has different colors. So veins are by default blue, muscles are cerise or pink, and the skeletal parts are highlighted white color, like this. If you choose to change to the knife or pen, you can again hover over structures to see the name. Sorry. So in this view, it's easy for students to zoom in and to understand the name of the different structures here in the upper limb, just by hovering over them.
Dr. Henrik, interrupt. Please accept one doctor from
Okay, let's see.
Anita. Dr. Anita, want to join?
You can.
Because you are host, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I think I have admitted all.
Okay. Now already? Okay. Dr.
Good.
Anita,
So you want? Yeah.
Okay.
So I should admit everyone that comes up on my. Yeah. Okay. Good. I will do that.
Host. Thank you, Dr. Anita, Dr. Hadija. Okay.
Thank you. Great. So now we've added the veins. We can do the same with arteries, of course, just by clicking on anatomy. And we will collapse the veins. We go to arteries of the upper limb. And again, we do left with the eye and right like this. So here we have a good understanding of also the arteries of the upper limb, which could be combined with also the nerves. So we have the nerves of the upper limb. On the left side, we use the eye, and on the right side, we use the sun to have it in different colors. So this is a way to step by step go through the different structures of a certain or different tissues or organs on different structures, to go through it in a structured way. And the next step could, of course, be to add muscles to this, to the upper limbs. And we do that by clicking on the muscles of the upper limb, left and right. So we could choose the eye and the sun, like this. So now we have added also those structures to the model. And by using the knife, we can dissect from here if we like, so we can remove the different muscles to see what's beneath. And if we instead use the highlighting color, the structures will remain, but the color will disappear, like this. Great, so this is a first interaction with the 3D model. Another thing that when you're focusing on learning muscle anatomy, there are some great tools with the coloring system here that I would like to show you. So now we will focus on the lower limb. So I will go to systems and skeletal system, and now we could actually add the full skeleton like this. So now we have the full skeleton added like this, and we will on the right side we will add also the muscles of the muscles of the lower limb. We can do that on the right side. We go to system, we can go to regions, and we look at lower limb like this. And we have muscles of the lower limb right side. So we will add that like this. So now we want to learn about the muscles here on the lower limb. And we will zoom in. Let's focus on the thigh. Like that. And a very nice feature is to use the highlighting tool. Because as you've seen here, we have default colors for different structures, as veins are blue, nerves are yellow, and so on. But we could also decide what color to use. So we can change that manually. Because as you can see up here, when we have changed colors on the muscles, it will reflect also on the models here. So we can see pink muscles here. So if we move down to watch the thighs also here, like this, what we can do is to color the muscles here and to see those colored also in the cross sections. So I will use the pen. I will click on the palette and manually click on muscles like this. Change color to change muscle. I could even go to the model here to click to see that it changes here. And by doing this, the students will be able to see a certain muscle in all different planes together with the 3D model. So this gives the student a chance to understand the full exactly how the muscle is going from its origin to its insertion. You can continue to just add muscles with different colors like this to make sure you have everything covered. So this is a really nice way to also use the color feature. And if you have created a model like this, maybe you also want to add your pins. It could be done like this. You just click on structures after choosing the pin functionality. Now you can just click here to share the URL, copy URL, and the student can just add this into the browser and they will come to this exact model. So we can build anatomical models that the students can use. And I will show you just a little bit of how that's done in Education Portal. So if we go back to the Education Portal webpage, I will go to View All Content, Filter functionality, Content Format, and choose Dissector Atlas. So here we have built a lot of different models that you as a teacher, you can just click on it and it will appear like this. And from this model, you can of course start building anything. You can add the cut plane, the coronal cut plane, to understand the correlation between the different organs. You can add the cross sections to the left by clicking on that window. And by doing that, you can also move the cut plane back or forward. And if you want to add things next to the kidneys, here you can just click on a structure, use the knife or the pen to click on a structure and add it to the model. You can go back to Education Portal to choose another feature. So we click here. And now we can instead see the vessels of the lower limb. And one final thing, which is also a really great feature, is that if you add the transverse cut plane here, you will have it visualized on the model. So we can move it up and down As you can see, it's coming here. And by now, we have the different veins and arteries represented here. And those are also visual on the model here, since we have them colored in red and blue, and that is also visual. Yeah, so you can see it in all different planes by zooming in to the cross sections. And click on the knife or pen to be able to have the names on those structures as well. And as you move the cut plane up and down, also the colors will be modified here. So I strongly suggest you to go through Education Portal and look at all the different models or bookmarks in Dissector Atlas that we have already created. It covers a great variety of different anatomical structures. And there are so many nice ways to interact with Dissector Atlas on the Sectra table or on your PC or on your Mac computer. Great, so that was first training about the Dissector Atlas. So now I thought I also show you Human Anatomy Atlas, which is a tool that is visual or accessible on the table, on the Sectra table. And you can you can access it on the Sectra table. And this is illustrated anatomy. So this is a nice way to enter the world of anatomy. And you have it divided in the same way as Dissector Atlas with regions or systems. So when you have opened Human Anatomy Atlas, you will come to this page where we have all the different systems represented. And you can start using it just by clicking on one of the different cards there. And here you have a skeletal model that you can rotate, zoom in, zoom out. And if you click on a structure, you see the name of it, humerus. You can read about it. You can read about pathologies that are commonly connected with this structure. And you can also have it pronounced. And you can see the different attachments on this bony landmarks like this. So this is a first way of interacting with the structures. We can go back by clicking on the squares here, and instead we can have a look at the muscular system. Muscular system views, show more. If I click here, we will have a lot more presented. So I can click on the shoulder, and then we have the shoulder muscles shown here. If I click on a muscle, you will again have this pop-up showing the book where you can read about it, pathologies, the pronunciation, and also the different attachments. So you can click on the attachments up here to understand the insertion and the origin. We can click on blood supply to understand which arteries that are supplying the muscles with blood. By clicking on it, we can also read the name. The innervation, same with that. We will instead focus on the nervous innervation to the muscle, where you can click on any structure to have it named and read more about it. If we click on details, we will add all the surrounding structures to this muscle. There is also a muscle action connected with this muscle. So if I click here, there will be a short video showing what happens when this muscle contracts. I will go back again and instead go to regions. So here we have focused on regions instead of systems. So we have more structures added to the body. So if we click on thorax, for instance, we will have this view open where you can rotate. You can click on a structure to have it visualized. And you could click on another structure. And when you want to kind of dissect, you just click on hide to remove it and to move your way through the different structures here. So this is a nice way to explore the surrounding structures and what's beneath. In Human Anatomy Atlas, we also have cross sections. So from here, you're able to actually look at the cross section by clicking, in this case, on thorax. And we will have this view shown to us where we again can click on a structure to read about it. We can move the cross section to the left like this, and from the right we can have a look at the same view but on a CT or a cadaver. So down here we can click on cadaver to change, or CT, and we can click on pins to add labels to the most important structures in this view. And if I click here, I will have this structure named and visualized here in highlighted colors. So this is a really nice way to connect radiology images to illustrated anatomy like this. There is also a section for senses. We can focus even more on the special senses and click on structures to have those highlighted. And if we want to remove